people that said all those things back then. I don't know if you watch my videos, but I'm forgiving you. You know yourself. Oh. You people know yourselves. And I'm looking at you like this. You're looking at me. If you ever come across this video, I know you. They told me your names. They told me your names. You people that shared, that carry fake gist about me back in school. Don't mind me. Oh. I'm forgiving you guys. Hi guys, good day from wherever you're watching. My name is Funke. If you're coming across this beautiful face for the first time, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back to check up on your girl. I appreciate you so much. Today's video is going to be like a mixture of story time and then me telling you about a particular sickness that I had while I was very young. You know, that could be disastrous if care was not taken, like prompt action was not taken, but thankfully I was able to overcome the sickness, and this is me today, hale and healthy. Okay, so let's dive straight into this video. So guys, growing up I had ovarian cyst. So that was the sickness I was talking about. Guys, I had ovarian cyst on one of my ovaries growing up as a kid. Then how did we find out about this ovarian cyst? Was that it happened on this particular day. I think I was 12 years old at the time, so I got my first period when I was 12 years old. So guys, the first time I had this symptom was that I was at home on this fateful day playing with my friends at home. My parents were not home on this particular day. They had gone to church for a program. You know, my parents are pastors now, so they do go to a lot of church programs, from one program to the other. So on this fateful day, they were not home. I was home with my friends playing, like I said. So I was just feeling stomach pains, and I told my friends that I'm feeling stomach pain. They said that, but as kids that we were just playing music. But it got to a point I could no longer bear this pain, guys. I was rolling on the floor, I was crying, I was wailing, I was vomiting, I was throwing up, like I was spitting on myself, sorry for the TMI. I was doing a lot of things, like my friends got scared. And then this year that I was talking about, there was no phone. Okay, my dad had a phone, but we didn't have any phone at home to call them, so we had to send someone to the church to go and call my parents. So my parents came back from church. They took me to the hospital. I could not even stand up. They carried me like a baby into the car. So when we got to the hospital, they gave me a pain injection. I was calm a little bit. Then they gave me water to drink, so that they will be able to see my internal organs on the ultrasound machine. So after some minutes, I went to lie down on the couch. So they put that thing on my stomach. The doctor was just searching for what could be wrong with me in my stomach. Thankfully he was able to see something, but then he just said, he could only see one tiny something very close to my ovary, one of my ovaries, that is like a pea-sized something that he saw. It grows just like a pea size. Like I could still remember how the doctor said, like something, just mentioned it like something that is negligible. Do you understand? Like just a pea-sized something that with antibiotics the thing is going to shrink or it's going to melt away. So my parents were, thank God. So they now gave me medicine. I used the medicine and then I was fine. Within 2 days I was back on my feet, like I was fine, everything was fine, and we forgot about it. Guys, subsequently, like subsequent periods, I would have menstrual pain. I would use paracetamol, Belvin. Do you guys know Belvin? Do you remember Belvin? I will use it, and I will be fine. We forgot about the pain, but the pain was still there. I do have it when I'm about to have my period or after my period. So, but then I got used to it, like, it's just normal menstrual pain. Then few years later, like maybe like 3 to 4 years later, I started noticing a bulge on my stomach. Like I would be feeling something moving in my stomach. It was when I started having babies, and I could relate to that kind of movement. It feels like when a baby is moving in your stomach, like the baby can move and you will feel a bulge on one side of your stomach, then baby will still leave that place and go to another place. That was the kind of movement I was feeling back then. Like I would tell my mom, put your hand here. My mom would put her hand on my stomach. The thing will move to another side. Like we still did not see it as something like a big deal, because it's going to shrink with time. But this thing did not shrink. It kept growing inside of me. Guys, it got to a point that I got used to the pain that I used to get before or after my period. Fast forward to when I was 20 years old. Guys, imagine from 12 years old till I was 20 years old. Oh, we had a family event. This one was even embarrassing. Like, it was so embarrassing. We had a family event. A girl that lived with us for many years was graduating from a fashion school, like tailoring school. So we were doing our freedom. Nigerians know what we call freedom now, after you have learned the trade. So that girl was doing her freedom in our house on that particular day. That was how your girl started this drama. That was how I started rolling on the floor. I was crying, I was vomiting, I was shouting, I was rushed to the hospital. On getting to the hospital, that same hospital, the doctor said, oh, this thing has grown. Maybe we have to operate this girl. But you know now, Nigerians and operation, we are like this, like two parallel lines that we never meet. The moment my parents had operation like this, hey, they said, no, we test in Jesus' name. This girl will not have operation. This girl will receive her healing. Means I was praying, I'm not doing operation, no. I received my healing in Jesus' name. Don't mind me, Jesus heals. God heals. I'm a living testimony that God heals. So, but Nigerians generally, we are always scared of operations. Okay, so the doctor said he's going to give me some medications that if I still use them, it's possible that the thing shrinks on its own, or you know, it still gave us hope. We took the medication. I used the medications, and then I felt fine. I felt fine. So fast forward to like 2 years later, I went to school, and then on this particular day, this pain came again. I was rolling on the floor. Guys, by this time, I've been fully diagnosed of ovarian cyst. The doctor told me that, the doctor had told us that this is ovarian cyst. On this particular day in school, that was how I started rolling on the floor. I was crying in the hostel. So they went to call the SCG welfare director. The guy took me to the hospital. On getting to the hospital, they did scan as usual. They saw the cyst. They said, this girl has to do operation or surgery as soon as possible to remove this cyst. By this time, that pea-sized thing that the doctor saw when I was 12 years old has grown into, I don't know, it has grown to like the size of an orange. It has grown to like a fist like this. From a pea size, it has grown to fist size. Like I could feel it. I could feel it myself. I could palpate myself and I would feel the mass. Okay, so I called my parents that this is the situation. They said I should do operation. Okay, say okay, I'm going to do the operation, no problem. But then events overtook. We forgot about it. Fast forward to 2 years later, I was still in the same school. On this particular day, the thing came again. I was rolling on the floor. I was crying. I was wailing. I was almost passing out on this day. This was the peak. This was the height of it. I said, no, I'm not doing this again. I have to do the surgery. I have to do this surgery and be fine. So I just called my parents. My parents came over to my school. They talked to me. They comforted me, and they said I should start coming home. But I could not come because I was writing exams. I was in my final year, but it was first semester. If I should miss any exam, that means I will come back the following year to come and write the exam. So I didn't want to miss any exam in my final year. So I struggled, and thankfully I was one of the best students in the department back then. So I was able to, the things that I've read before, that was the thing I used to write the exam. Like I could not read anything. I was only using the things I have on my head before exams. That was what I used to write my exam. And thankfully I didn't fail any course that semester. So after I finished our exams, I was in a monotechnic back then. We were in Federal College of Animal Health and Production Technology in Ibadan. Yeah, so after the normal written exams, we usually do practical exams. So I now begged some of the practical lecturers that I'm sick, this and that. So I told my HOD, I told some lecturers that I know that they are mounted. So they helped me talk to some of the lecturers that my practicals, maybe they should, the lecturers have a say on the practicals, So I was just lucky enough. I wrote the practicals with one last one that I could not bear again. So I had to go to the hospital. Like, mind you, at this point, during that exam, I could not even sleep at the hostel again. I was sleeping at the hospital. I'll come from the hospital to come and write my exams. They will remove that thing from my hand. that thing that used to pass water into your body. They will remove it in the morning. I'll go and write my papers, then I'll come back to the hospital to come and sleep in the night. They will insert it again. They will sedate me so that I'll be able to sleep in the night. Guys, it got to a point when this hospital had to refer me to UCH. My Nigerian people, especially those of you in Oyo State or Ibadan, you know UCH now. UCH is a teaching hospital, but if they ever refer you to UCH, it's just like a death sentence. To UCH, and you know it's a teaching hospital. There are so many student doctors around. They will now lay me on the bed. They owe me. So the lecturer will now ask one of the students, "What can you observe here?" That one will now say, "I can observe this and that." You will face another one. "What can you observe here?" I will say, "I can observe this." I was not looking at them like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You are now using me to do practical now, eh? I finished my exams and I was referred to a teaching hospital in Osun State, Lautech Teaching Hospital in Osogbo, Osun State. So that was where I was going to do the surgery. I did the surgery and it was successful. Guys, it could have turned out to be something terrible because I read a lot about it back then. I've read of cases where the cyst was going to explode inside of the person and then it was going to destroy the all the ovaries, like the 2 ovaries, the uterus, like, but thank God it did not burst inside of me. And then they took it out. It did not affect any of my ovary. I didn't lose my ovary. Some people, when they do the operation, they will have to cut their ovary, like the affected one, they have to cut it off with that mask because that thing would have eaten into it. In some cases, the mask would have become I don't know the term because I'm not a doctor. The thing would have bone, like, is it calcified or something? I don't know. Some people their own would have calcified. Some people their own would have become like living organisms. Do you understand? So in some cases, some cysts could have cancer cells in them. But when they took out this cyst from my own ovary, they tested this. I went back for the results. And they said, "Oh, thank God, they didn't see any cancerous substance in it." So I was so happy. Guys, if you see the thing they took out from my stomach, so this artwork that you're looking at, look at that coconut. That thing was as big as that. Yes, I'm not exaggerating. It's painful that I've lost that picture because my dad took a picture of that thing. Like that thing. I'll be back. Hold on. Look at this thing that I'm holding. This container that I'm holding. This was this kind of container that we bought. Like, you know, if you have had operation before, anything they bring out from you, they will tell you to buy this kind of container that you put in it in Nigeria. I don't know of other hospitals. Other countries. So we bought this kind of container. And that thing they brought out from me was as big as, like, this is elubo, this is yam flour for making amala. So that mask, I could still remember how it was when I woke up. It was like this, like that thing was as, see the level of this elubo, that was how big that thing was. I'm not lying, I'm not exaggerating. The level of this elubo was the same level of that thing they removed from my stomach back then. Guys, it was that big. So they took it out, they tested it, and they called me back. They said I should come back in 2 weeks time after discharging me. And then they told me, thank God, the thing has no cancer cells in it. You are free. It's not going to regrow again. This and that. I was so happy. Guys, as if that was not enough. While I was away from school, people have started carrying my gist about. They said I aborted the pregnancy. And then my womb got affected. And then they want to remove my womb. Guys, my so-called friends, well, so-called friends anyway, people that I trusted, that I told what I was going through, they went ahead to share fake news around the school. That Funke, she was doing like SU. She was pregnant, so she now aborted pregnancy. She now, the thing now escalated. Her womb now got affected. She now went to remove her womb. You people that said all those things back then, I don't know if you watch my videos, but I'm forgiving you. You know yourself. You people know yourselves. And I'm looking at you like this. You're looking at me. If you ever come across this video, I know you. They told me your names. They told me your names. People that shared that carry fake gist about me back in school. Don't mind me. Oh. I've forgiven you guys. Sincerely, I've forgiven all of them. I've forgiven them. I've moved on. I've moved on. Obviously, they have also had their own fair share of life. Especially two of them. There were two of those girls. Life has done them strong things. But I've forgiven them. I've forgiven them. Okay? And I think that was not enough again. Somebody, an elderly one, at this time was sharing fake news about me in church. An elderly person that is as old, that can give back to me, was sharing news that that Funke, the operation they did for her enemy will not be able to have child again. No, they have removed the thing that used to allow someone to have child. They have removed one of my ovaries. And it's been difficult for me to be pregnant with one. Can you imagine? And this woman went ahead to go and tell someone that I was planning to get married to back then. Imagine that. You went to someone that I was planning to get married to. Go and tell him that girl you want to get married to. She cannot. It's very difficult for her to give birth in life. Can you imagine? But I got to know about it. Someone told my parents about it. And then we were like, do we have a problem? So guys, thankfully I pulled through. It was not easy. That was the first time I would ever go under the knife. It was scary for me. I woke up and I was saying gibberish. I was speaking in tongue. I was saying a lot of things that, funny things that I don't want to say here again. So I was able to pull through. I was fine. The operation went well, although there were a lot of devil's tactics, to make the operation to not be successful. Can you imagine? The first time I was to go in for the operation, that was when they discovered that the oxygen gas was leaking. Something they wanted to put on me to be breathing. They discovered that the gas had leaked. Everything had leaked. Can you imagine, guys? What if they had sedated me and then they discovered that the gas was leaking? Would they now wake me up again? But thank God they discovered before I was wheeled in. They now said we should go back again. I was already dressed for the surgery, and that first time they now said I should go back to the ward, that I should come back another day for the operation. We now went back another day for the operation. The thing was, they wanted to insert the catheter in me. As a little girl I was then, I was crying, I was scared. Everything was just, I just thank God. I thank God. I'm making this video to tell someone out there that if you are feeling anything inside of you, don't take it for granted. Don't take it with levity. Like, don't just take it. Don't be, I don't know what to call it. Just be serious about yourself, about your health. You see, if anything happens to you on your skin, you can see it. Oh, I have rashes on my skin. That one is okay. But something that you cannot see inside of your stomach, please don't joke with it. If you think, no, don't take any pain as, it's a normal pain. No, pain should not be normal. Don't think, it's just normal menstrual pain that I'm having. If a menstrual pain is as painful to the extent of you rolling on the floor, my sister, go and get yourself checked. And if they tell you to go and do operation, please do operation. You will not die. The operation will be successful in Jesus' name. So let us take our health seriously. Don't let us wait until a pea-sized something is going to grow into a ball-sized something. Okay, so guys, and for people that have girl children, like daughters, if your daughters have started their period, ask them, what are you feeling? Do you feel any kind of pain? Do you have anything that you think is like a growth that is, just ask questions. And then let's be prayerful and all, because with God all things are possible. A girl that they say will not be able to have children or may not be able to have children. Can you guys believe you that my first child, I had him 9 months after my marriage? Like, I got married on March 21st and I had my first child on December 21st. And that other woman that I talked about, that said, they said she will not be able to have, she was the one that called me first. When my dad, told everybody that, my child, Funke had a baby, can you come? So the woman called me, she was not praying for me. I tapped into this your kind of anointing for my daughter 9 months after marriage. Guys, can you imagine? If that was not enough again, people started talking about me again. That's why will I have a baby exactly 9 months Some people say, oh, maybe she was even pregnant before her marriage sef. So oh, lè tẹ́ ayé lọ́rùn. Like what the Yoruba people say, kò sí bó ṣe lè ṣe tó o lè tẹ́ ayé lọ́rùn, which means you cannot satisfy people in this world. If you don't have a child, they will say you don't have. If you have it, they will say you have it early. If you have it late, they will say you have it late. So there is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do to satisfy people, to please them. That's another lesson from this my video again. So I don't know if you can hear the song that is going on the background on this video. If you don't know, I write songs. I write Christian songs. I compose songs. So that song that you are listening to, like on the background, is one of the songs I composed one of those days that I was having serious pains, and then I thought I was going to die. With the thought of me going to have a surgery, have an operation, I was just tired. I was fed up. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. So I wrote this song on one of those days that I was so much in pain. So that song that you are listening to, it was inspired by that time that I was sick. So the full track is on my channel. So on my channel, I'll write the title, like I will link it somewhere in this video. Okay, so this is me ending this video here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. Give this video a huge thumbs up, and let me see your comments in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna catch you in my next video. Bye.